history, roots deeply rooted. We need to search for it, not just any story prescribed and printed with lies. Stories known and alive with truth in it, so true we can feel the life in, see the light.
Hello out there, and welcome to another exciting adventure with the amazing Time Detectives, where you get to find out more about the history and culture of our land. I'm Katlego, your host, and today the detectives are interested to know about those games that we used to play before computers, PlayStations, and iPods came along. Many years ago, young people used to make up games that they played outdoors, or they learned games from the older youth by watching them. This meant that most of their playtime was spent outside, and most games kept them physically active, which is the opposite of how we play now, right? Let's find out more. Every country has its own games that have been developed by local people. In South Africa, games like Koko, Yukske, Khati, and Dibeke are all local games.
I'm Saleha. I'm Tora. I'm Salem.
And I'm Kaya.
We are amazing Time Detectives. Hi Detectives, I wonder what games they played back in the day.
I know someone that will answer all your questions.
Ooh.
Uncle Timba.
Okay, let's go.
The detectives thought a good starting point would be the District 6 Museum in Cape Town, because it has a wealth of information about the early days when many different cultural groups lived together in the oldest city. They met up with Uncle Themba Matumela, who enjoys encouraging young people to play.
We were here to find out how games were played back in the day.
Kwakukho imidlalo emininzi eyahlukeneyo eyayidlalwa ngabantwana ngaphambili. Kule midlalo singabala imidlalo enjengoqobongo, icekwa lamanzi.
Explain the names of the games and where the names came from.
La magama ale midlalo ayingena njongo kwaphela ngelokuba echaza umdlalo lowo udlalwayo, kwaye asingekwazi ukuvela ngqo sithi yaqala kuba kwakuthe. Imidlalo amakhwenkwe ebeyenza xa esendle ukulungiselela imeko zokwalusa nendalo.
Do you have any stories of where the games came from?
Imidlalo emininzi yenzeke kuba amakhwenkwe xa esendle anexesha elininzi lokuba enze imidlalwana eza kubanceda ekwazini ngendalo ebangqongileyo, ekwazini ngeenkwenkwezi, ekwazini ngezityalo ezityiwayo nezinobungozi ezinetyhefu. Zonke ezi zinto ibizizinto ke amakhwenkwe aye afunda ngazo, ziqalele kwezo zinto ke le midlalo khona ukuze amakhwenkwe ayazi indalo ewangqongileyo.
How were the games passed down through generations?
Yonke kwaXhosa imbali ibiye ichazwe ngomlomo ngabangaphambili beyixelela abalandelayo, kuba kaloku besingenazo iincwadi zokubhala. Yiyo loo nto bekuye kuthiwe ichazwa ngokwe-oral history. Loo nto ithetha ukuthi ibichazwa ngomlomo kwabo balandelayo.
What can we learn from these games?
Khulu okungafundwa kule midlalo. Xa sele uyazi, uyakwazi okukungqongileyo, indalo ekungqongileyo. Uyazazi izityalo omawuzitye, uyayazi indlela yokuphila endle, nezinye ke izinto ezibangela uba usuke ebuntwaneni uye ebudaleni. Ininzi kakhulu into ibifundwa kule midlalo.
What is the difference between playing today and playing in the past?
edolophini badlala imidlalo esingasayiqhelanga thina abantu badala, imidlalo yekhompyutha nale miqhoqho ndingayaziyo abasafani nabantwana bakudala. Thina besihamba phaa endle kule mihla bahlala ndawoninye uyawufika becofa. Wow, nto zedolophi nempucuko.
Who plays these games?
Kule midlalo ibikhona eyabantwana, ikhona yabathe dlondlo, ikhona kanti neyamakhwenkwe amadala oophopho xolovane, nditsho nabantu abadala bebenayo imidlalo yeleqe, kuqatyelwa iinkabi zeenkomo kubalekwa. So le midlalo ibidlalwa ngabo bonke abantu abohlukeneyo apha emphakathini.
What is the value of kids playing games with each other?
Xa abantwana bedlala le midlalo, abantwana bafunda ukuthembana, abantwana bayahloniphana, abantwana bakhula kakuhle kuba eminye yale midlalo ibafundisa izinto eziza kuba lulutho kubo kwikamva labo, ngokumayela ke nendalo ebangqongileyo. Niyabona ke lo mdlalo ngumdlalo odlalwa ngamantombazana owabangela ukuba amantombazana xa emana ejula laa nto ekhupha asebenzise ingqondo yawo nokusebenza kwamalungu ngaxeshanye, kodwa ewakhetha amatye kakuhle. Kaloku abantu abangamantombazana bayangcekelela, benze enye into ngapha, benze enye into ngapha. Yimidlalo ke ebalungeleyo leyo. Kuni nina makhwenkwe umdlalo nje asifane siwenze, kufuneka nina nibethe induku nizokomelela njengamakhwenkwe. Bekunjalo ke kwaXhosa bantwana bam, siyavana mama.
How do you win a game like this?
Lo mdlalo uthi uzuphumelele kube kushiyeke ilitye lalinye, uze wena ujule phezulu ulibambe khawenze isibona. Mamelani ke bantwana, kulo mbuzo wakho uthi uzube uphumelele lo mdlalo ube kanti wathathe onke amatye angaphandle. Xa kushiyeke eliya lokugqibela ujule eli ubudlala ngalo phezulu, ubambe eliya ulidibanise neli, ngoyena owinileyo kuba lo mdlalo nodlala nibaninzi khawenze isibona. Uphumelele ke lo, injalo ke loo nto. Nivile bantwana?
Without realizing it, when we play, we learn various skills that prepare us for life.
Detectives! Come! Let's play the game that Uncle Timba taught us. If you hold like this and she does the opposite, you win. If she does the same as you, then it's a point for her.
You're watching The Amazing Time Detectives. We'll be back after the break. The detectives started their investigation with the older generation But then they discovered that some youth still play these games. They went to see for themselves.
Guys, we are the amazing time detectives. Wat doen jullie?
Ons speel marbles, maar voor ons speel, ons is er gat maak. We gaan elke keer een marble krijgen.
So what do we do now?
Ons draai met marble in die gat te maak en een wat die naaste maak, moet like, eerst skiet. En als je like, in die gat schiet, dan moet je weer schieten. En als je weer, dan moet je de marbles voor jou vat, dan moet je ook komen tot die game klaar is.
So why do they play this game?
Wel, agter skool as hulle so niks het om te doen nie, dan speel hulle marbles en die ene wat nou almal die marbles wat nou die game wen, hy loop weg met die marbles so. Is 'n bietjie competition tussen hulle so. Sy moet sorg dat sy die beste is en dat sy moet baie net is waar net means, sy moet baie accurate wees in jou shots en almal daai is ook op hy speel en die game speel so teach jou maths en like some doen die components as well.
Does the game build up in the skills?
Agter skool het die kinders niks om te doen nie. Dat hulle het liefs weg van verkeerde dinge af en dat hulle brein het liefs active waarin die kan by die huis lê en niks doen nie. So dat hou van active wat hulle bou op skills in daai tyd ook dat hulle sommer hulle breins develop ook. So die leer skills in daai sense ja.
So what other games are there you can show us?
Daar's eintlik 'n game wat hulle roep 3 stokkies. So ek kan vir wys as daai kant toe.
Games provided a reason for people from one community to travel to another so they could compete in tournaments. It gave many people the chance to travel and make new friends.
Roger, what's going on? How do we play this game?
Wel, soos jy kan sien, daar's 3 stokkies, reg? Nou aan die einde, daar's altyd een wat jy call 'n stretcher. Nou die stretcher determine die distance van die hoe die laaste stokkie is. Nou elkeen kry kans om te jump. Maar die ene wat dit kan maak, due to die grootte van die distance, hy is obviously uit. Maar daar's die stretcher determine die length van die caps. Nou elke een moet inbly, moet die distance kan maak om oor die stokkies te spring. Hy sou homself in die game hou. But unfortunately, ons almal is so goed in dit, en ons almal het ons limits. So elke een sal uitval aan die einde van die dag as daar net een wenner. Dan sal hy obviously die stretcher raak in die nuwe volgende game.
So how do you win a game like this?
Om te wen, moet jy die stretcher, moet jy verder as die stretcher kan spring. Die stretcher is die laaste een wat die distance determine van die stokkie. So as 'n mens vir hom kan beat en dis die laaste in die standing, dan wen sy die game.
Show us a different game, please.
Kom ek wys vir jou nog 'n game waar hulle te speel word met die tou. Okay. Kom ons gaan vir die way.
Roger, we'd like to thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. I hope to see you guys in the near future. I think you need some exercise, man. But seriously, you need some exercise.
Guys, we had a lot of fun with Uncle Tim.
Yeah, and I never knew about these games.
you know, the first National Indigenous Games Festival was held in 2004. South Africa participates in World Indigenous Games. Indigenous Games allow us to learn about our heritage. So, not all is lost. Now that you know how it works, you can play these games and then pass them on to the next generation. Today, our memory keepers are going to do something about a game that has become a bit lost. Marabaraba used to be such a popular game, but nowadays we don't know much about it. But don't despair, because our memory keepers are going to explore more. Games allow us to find out more about our ancestors and their way of life. Murabaraba is said to have originated hundreds of years ago while young herd watchers were protecting their cattle. Elise Fernandez has been researching games played in the early days, and she agreed to help our memory keepers revive this game. First off, they need a board and tokens to play.
They're making their own Murabaraba board, and we hope that we'll see more kids getting to make their own boards. So I think you guys should maybe spread the paint a bit more, and don't put any more paint on the board. Keep going over it because you're going to doesn't have to be perfect. Don't do it in another direction. It all needs to stay in the same. You need to be going in the same direction all the time. So what do you guys think we should do next?
Oh, I think we should take some stencils and place it on the Marabaraba and spray paint it.
But don't you think we should wait for the board to dry first? Oh my word, it's not dry yet.
What shall we do?
Game boards look so fancy that I never realized it could be so simple to make one. The memory keepers didn't need too many things to make a board. In the past, people would often make a board by drawing on the ground using chalk. They could use stones or buttons as tokens. So, if you don't have a stencil and paint like our memory keepers do, you can use good old chalk in the backyard to get your game started.
Next up, we're going to take this stencil that we made and we are going to put it onto the board. And later on, we're going to bring the cows in and they're going to be played on this board. So, firstly, we want to get some black spray and we're going to spray it over here.
This board is going to be really stunning. Elise also found an elder who had the rules of the game written down. Often, when the rules are not properly kept, then games change as people make up new rules.
Okay, that's really cool. Next thing we need to do is we need to pull off the tape for the border. But does anyone know how to play the game?
No.
But I do.
Oh wow, then you can teach us.
My grandfather taught me how to play the game.
Well, I've got this book over here that I've been trying to read, and but it's still been difficult to learn how to play, so maybe you can show us.
It's time for another break, but don't go away because we'll be right back.
These are the rules of Murabaraba. It is a game for 2 players and takes place in 3 stages. Stage 1. There are 2 sets of 13 tokens called cows. Sort the tokens so that each player has a set of 12 identical tokens. 2 are kept in reserve. Starting with a clear board, players take turns to place 1 cow at a time on a junction. cows may only be placed on unoccupied junctions. The aim is for each player to create rows of 3 cows, which is a herd, vertically or horizontally. Herds may not be created from cows placed diagonally. They also do not count as herds when straddling the inner and middle squares as shown opposite. When a herd of 3 cows is achieved, the player may remove, shoot one of the opponent's cows. A player must first shoot all the cows that are not part of herds before breaking into a herd. Only 1 cow may be shot at a time, even if 2 or more herds are created with 1 move. Once a cow is shot, it cannot be used to play again.
Another one here.
The lines don't connect. The lines don't connect. Unfair.
It seems like we are stuck, so I'm going to stage 2. When each player has placed all 12 cows on the board and probably had some of them shot off, players take turns to move cows from one junction to another. Again, the aim is to create herds of 3 cows in a row. A move consists of moving a cow from one junction to an unoccupied junction immediately linked and adjacent to that junction. Players can only move one space at a time, adjacent and connected open circles. Players may not bump or jump over an opponent's cow. Players may break their own herds in order to make new herds or simply to reposition their cows. A cow can be moved back and forth to the same 2 junctions repeatedly. That is, a herd may be made, broken, and remade repeatedly. Each time a herd is remade, the opponent's cows can be shot. Note that if a player could close a set of 2 cows and make a herd but fails to do so, the opponent can make the herd shoot one of the initial player's cows and then still take their own turn. Stage 3. When one player has lost all but 3 cows, that player may move a cow to any vacant junction on the board with each move. This move is called flying cows. The game is won when one player has lost all but 2 cows or when one of the players cannot move the cows at all. When one player is down to 3 cows and neither player is able to shoot a cow within 10 moves, the game is a draw. Looks to me like this game is coming to an end soon. And it seems like the Golds are winning.
It would be such a pity if young people in the future never knew about these games. But if more people make marabaraba boards and teach each other the rules, then it will live on. And future generations will have a good chance of finding out what marabaraba is all about. For next time, think about what's of value in your life that deserves passing on. Thank you so much for watching and join us again next week.
I need to let you know where I'm coming from, where I'm going to. For we, a people with history, roots deeply rooted, we need to search for it. Not just any story prescribed and printed with lies. Stories known and alive with truth in it. So true, we can feel the life in, see the light in the sense it makes. The time to awake is not tomorrow, it's today. I can be taught and see the light that's guiding my way toward the path where my ancestors wait. I need to let you know where I'm coming from, where I'm going to.